Hey there, and welcome. Today we are diving into something really cool, a fascinating part of your own mind, a powerful skill called spatial reasoning. It's basically how we see and interact with the world in 3D, and you're probably going to be surprised by just how much you use it every single day.
All right, let's jump right in and warm up those brain cells with a classic puzzle. Just look at this flat pattern on your screen. In your mind's eye, can you fold it up into a perfect 3D cube? Yeah, that mental folding and twisting you're doing right now, that is spatial reasoning in action. It's a fun little test to see how your brain plays with shapes and space.
So in this explainer, here's what we're going to tackle. First up, we'll get into what spatial reasoning actually is. Then, we'll explore why it's become such a big deal in the modern workplace. And finally, we'll break down what different test scores really mean and how you can level up your own visual thinking. Okay, let's dive into this. What exactly is spatial reasoning? I mean, what does it feel like to think in shapes and space?
Well, to put it simply, it's our brain's ability to build and mess around with a mental model of the world. You know, it's that moment you look at an object and can instantly picture yourself rotating it, unfolding it, or seeing how all its little parts connect. And all of that happens right inside your head.
And you know, what's so interesting is how different this is from the other ways we think. We're all pretty used to solving problems with words or numbers, right? But spatial reasoning, it's like a whole other language, a non-verbal one, made of shapes, patterns, and movement. It's the skill that helps you solve a Rubik's Cube, navigate a new city, or build something from a set of instructions.
And trust me, you use this skill constantly. Ever tried reading a map without physically turning it in your hand? That's your spatial reasoning at work. Or how about assembling that piece of furniture from a confusing diagram? Yep, that's it too. Even something as simple as packing a suitcase to fit everything in, or just picturing the layout of your own home. That requires you to think spatially. It's a fundamental part of how we get by in the physical world.
But this isn't just about puzzles and packing your bags. Let's talk about how these skills translate into the professional world. Because out there, spatial reasoning can be an absolute game changer. The truth is, today's workplaces are incredibly visual. I mean, think about it. We're constantly dealing with data charts, digital models, complex software, and physical machinery. With things like data visualization, AR, and 3D modeling becoming so common, being able to quickly understand visual information isn't just a nice-to-have anymore, it's a core skill.
So, having strong spatial skills gives you a serious edge. It means you can glance at a complex diagram and just see how the parts connect. You can make sense of blueprints, spot a tiny flaw in a design, or figure out how to operate complex machinery way more intuitively. It's really about seeing the hidden structure in a complex system, whether that's a factory floor or a block of computer code.
And this skill is everywhere. You've got engineers and architects visualizing massive structures before they're built. You've got logistics managers planning out the most efficient warehouse layouts. And you've got IT pros mapping out complex digital networks. Spatial reasoning is the common thread that ties all this practical, hands-on problem solving together.
Okay, on to our final section. Let's say you've taken a spatial reasoning test. What does that score actually tell you about yourself? And let's be clear, this isn't about getting a good or bad grade. It's really about understanding your own cognitive strengths and seeing where there's room to grow.
All right, let's start at the foundational level, with scores from 0 to about 25%. Now, if your score lands here, it's not a judgment at all. Think of it as a starting point for development.
And this quote right here says it all. The key word is developing. This isn't some fixed trait. It just means that right now it might be a bit of a challenge to visualize how shapes rotate and change, especially if there are a few steps involved.
So, what does that mean in real life? Maybe diagrams can feel a little confusing, but the great news is this is a totally trainable skill. The way forward is all about building confidence with the basics. You know, things like simple flip and fold puzzles or playing with easy shape assembly. It's kind of like learning the alphabet before you try to write a novel.
Next up, let's look at that 25 to 50% range. If you score here, it means you've definitely got a solid foundation to build on, but the goal now is to work on consistency.
The key word here is absolutely consistent. You can probably handle a simple one-step mental rotation without a problem, but the real challenge might pop up when a puzzle asks you to track multiple changes at once, like say a rotation and a flip.
So, how do you build up that consistency? Well, it's all about slowly leveling up the complexity. You can start tackling puzzles that require more steps. Look for challenges that involve mirror images or multi-stage rotations.
That's what trains your brain to track more complex visual changes with real accuracy.
Now we're moving into the 50 to 75% range. Scoring here is a pretty clear indicator that you have a confident and capable handle on spatial tasks.
Yeah, this is a strong performance. It means you're generally comfortable reading both 2D and 3D information, and you can handle most of the visual tasks you'd run into at work with really solid accuracy. You can follow complicated diagrams and visualize how parts fit together pretty easily. If you want to push your skills towards true mastery, the next step is to challenge yourself with more complex visual data. Try working with really dense blueprints or system diagrams that have multiple layers. That'll sharpen your precision and speed.
And finally, we've got the top tier, scores above 75%. This signals a really advanced, well-honed, and often pretty intuitive skill.
What's so cool about performing at this level is that it's not just about being accurate, it's also about being fast and efficient. A score up here shows that you can visualize really complex changes in a flash, even when a bunch of things are happening at once. Your spatial awareness is exceptional, even when you're under pressure. To keep an elite skill like this sharp, you can dive into some really advanced, real-world challenges. We're talking about mastering detailed 3D modeling software or analyzing complex architectural blueprints. Any task that demands super rapid and precise mental manipulation of objects in space. So there you have it. We've defined spatial reasoning. We've seen why it's so incredibly important in today's world, and we've explored what it looks like at different levels. The only question left is this. Now that you get it, how are you going to put your mind's eye to work? Whether it's a puzzle, a map, or just rearranging a room, how could you flex your visual thinking today?